How did a skill you were forced to learn as a kid end up changing everything? My dad signed me up for a CPR class at the rec center when I was 11, not because he wanted me to, because the Boy Scout troop required it for some badge I don't even remember the name of. 3 Saturdays foam dummy, some guy named Gary yelling compressions, not massages, at a room full of bored 11-year-olds. I passed, got my little card, shoved it in a drawer, forgot about it completely. Fast forward 12 years. I'm home for Thanksgiving, sitting at the table. My dad's telling the same turkey story he tells every year, the one about how he almost dropped the bird in the driveway the first year he hosted, and mid-sentence he just stops talking. Fork drops. His face goes this weird gray color, and he grabs the edge of the table. My mom starts screaming his name like that'll fix it. For a second, nobody moved. My little sister just sat there with her fork halfway to her mouth, frozen, and I remember thinking, stupidly, that the mashed potatoes were going to get cold. That's the kind of useless thought your brain throws at you right before it catches up to what's actually happening. Then it clicked. I don't even remember standing up. 1 second I was in my chair, the next I was on the floor next to him, and my hands just knew what to do, like they'd been sitting in storage for 12 years waiting for someone to flip the switch. I tilted his head back. I checked for breathing the way Gary drilled into us. Look, listen, feel, and there was nothing. 30 compressions, 2 breaths, 30 compressions. My arms were shaking by round 3, but I didn't stop. My mom was on the phone with 911, screaming the address twice because she kept forgetting the house number, of all things, the house she's lived in for 20 years. My sister was crying in the doorway, not moving, just crying, and it was just me and my dad on that kitchen floor, his skin the color of old newspaper, and I kept talking to him between breaths, saying stuff like, "Come on, not like this, not over turkey," which sounds insane now, but at the time, felt like the only thing keeping me together. At some point, his chest moved on its own, a weak, ragged breath that felt like the best sound I've ever heard in my life. I didn't stop compressions, Gary's voice in my head the whole time. Don't assume, keep going, keep going. Somewhere in there, I remember thinking about all the times my dad and I hadn't exactly seen eye to eye, the arguments about my job, about the girl I dated in college he never liked, about the fact that I moved 4 states away and only called on Sundays if I remembered. None of that mattered on that floor. It felt embarrassing almost, how small all of it suddenly was, pressed up against the fact that I might lose him over turkey and gravy on a random Thursday in November. I kept thinking, please let me have more Sundays. Please let me call more than I have been. Please just let him yell at me about my job one more time. The paramedics burst through the door what felt like an hour later, but was actually 6 minutes. They took over, and I just sat back against the cabinets with my hands still shaking, staring at my own palms like they belonged to someone else. My mom grabbed me and just held on, not saying anything, both of us watching them load him onto the stretcher. The turkey was still sitting on the table, half carved, steam long gone, and nobody touched it for the rest of the night. The paramedics said later that 4 minutes without CPR probably would have killed him. I gave him 4 minutes. He was in the ICU for 6 days. I slept in that waiting room chair more nights than I didn't, drinking vending machine coffee, replaying the whole thing over and over, wondering what would have happened if I'd frozen like my sister did, if muscle memory hadn't kicked in. First thing he said when he could talk was, "Who taught you that?" I said, "You did. You just didn't know it yet." He started crying, which I'd never seen before in my life. Every Thanksgiving now, before we eat, he makes me show everyone the card, still in my wallet, still expired since 2019.